Right. Hello. Hello, everyone. It is pretty hot where I am. Um, final round of the season. This is Tier 2 White. I am Ross Thorm, which I never actually introduced myself on these streams, so, like, I assume people just know who I am at this point, but I can imagine some people go, like, entire seasons, um, without even knowing who the commentators are sometimes. Maybe I need to work on my intro. But like no one's even in the stream when I start introducing. And I doubt people watching live would go back to the start. Anyway, where are we with the standings heading into today? We've got a nice two-horse race for the championship. Really strange championship because all of the major players have missed rounds. So heading into today, there's 2 points separate the top two. So we got Chrissy in the Porsche 911, which is strangely good round here. You wouldn't think so. It seems to get good results anyway. It won the feature in my tier two. Um, but that's kind of because when you are in the Porsche, you start so badly that you can only finish 8th, ninth, or 10th in the sprints anyway. So you always get a really good starting position in the feature. But anyway, Chrissy's is in the lead with 166 points. Hasnain is in second with 164 points. They are the only two in with a shot of the championship. There's a lot of drivers who could have been in with a shot coming into this final round if they'd done all of the races, including Sam. I think Hennes could have been closer because he's only 53 points behind. He's missed the last round and he's missing this round as well. X90G missed 3 rounds. But he was really up there. And we've got people like PZN, who's Panzani, who only joined for the second half of the season. If he'd been here from the start, he potentially could have been in the championship fights. There's like lots of really fast drivers who aren't in the hunt at all. So let's go through the grids. We have 15 drivers lining up for Daytona. We got X90G lining up last. I'm not sure what happened to his qualifying, because usually he's around about the top 5. So, and the Peugeot's also fairly decent round here as well. So, yeah, expected to see him finish at the top 10 in this sprint, for sure. Got Hurricane in the Lexus, lining up 14th. The Lexus has had a pretty brutal nerf in its performance in the last couple of weeks since the BOP update. So it's not as quick as it used to be, but it still has the amazing fuel tank, but that doesn't matter in a sprint race. So Hurricane might find it difficult to get into the top 10. Then we've had Genesis, who's had a bit of a rough season in this McLaren. Again, lining up P13 again outside the top 10. Then we got Gilles in P12 in the Lambo. A Lambo is another one which is pretty bad round here. It's got bad tires. All the MR cars have bad rear tires around here. They go off pretty quickly. But also the Lambo's just not got any top speed as well. Then we got Clink Chow up in P11 in the Renault. So that's pretty good, I reckon, because the Renault's got atrocious top speed. So to get at P11 is pretty decent. Jack in P10 in the Nissan, actually getting out qualified by his teammate Zab. That might be the first time this season that he gets out qualified. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Jack's usually putting in a really good shift in quali. But yeah, Zab has kind of been on an upward trajectory as the season's gone on. I think maybe he's just settled into tier 2 a little bit better, gotten used to racing, and he's got it in the top 10 quite often in the last couple of rounds. So he's looking to build on that. Brummy in P8, this is a pretty strong qualifying for him. We've seen him right at the front, but the McLaren is another one. MR car struggles a little bit on the top end, so P8 is fairly solid for him. Higgsy in 7th. Finally, we're at a track where the GR Super, after all of its nerfs, should be fairly good because it got good top speed. He'll be very pleased to see the back of this car at the end of the season. This has been his worst season in Tier 2 since his promotion quite a while ago, and he'll want to bounce back from that quickly. Then we got our championship leader Chris in 6th, and I think it might be worth starting with having a look at how his start goes, because he might end up outside the top 10 with his really long run down to turn 1. And we got Panzani in the Jag in 5th place, could potentially be in the top 2 come turn 1. Harry in the AMG. Well, actually, he's in 4th, so we've got a bit of a glitch going on with the blue flags. Harry's lining up 3rd in the AMG. Then we got Hasnain in second, and Sam is on pole position, and Filthy is actually starting in 12th place, not first. So yeah, a great pole position there for Sam in the Citroen, which doesn't have good top speed again. So yeah, he should be pretty pleased with that. Got a lot of drivers in the shop window for a promotion to Tier 1 next season here. Right, sorry, was just having a drink. It's a hot day. Let's get going. We've got 9 laps of this sprint race. Let's see how these guys navigate the start and the run down to turn 1. So the final round is live. Let's see who gets a good start. Aslam getting a pretty shocking start there. Harry's already overtaken him, and Panzani's already overtaken. He's falling back. You can see Chris getting shunted out the way a little bit there. He's dropped all the way back to 10th now. Let's ride on board with Chris. Our championship leader needs a good run into turn 1. He's kind of caught on the outside here. We got Clinker Chow on the inside. Genesis going really deep there. And a little bit of lag going on as well. But it looks like Chris stays 10th. X90G going from last into the top 10 already. As we run down to... Wow, it's all kicking off here. It looks like Filthy went off track there. And X90G's up into 9th now already from last place. And Chris is outside the top 10 here. This is not a good start, but he's got the opportunity to try and cling on to some more points here. He's going to try and go around the outside of Higgsy. That might open the door for Giles right behind him to get through, who is slightly alongside him here on the run. The final corner before we start entering into the oval section. And it looks like he's kind of pretty close to Higgsy, but let's go back to the front and see how Sam's doing. Sam's got a massive lead on Harry. Harry and Panzani second and third. Aslam dropped down to 4th. Then you got Jack and Brummy both getting good starts there in 5th and 6th. Then Clinker Chow is in 7th. But let's see Brummy. He's trying to go around the outside of Jack here, and he is fully ahead. I think Jack tucked in behind there to avoid any sort of incident. Let's see if everyone is going round the chicane. Looks like they're all getting through. Chris still in 11th. And everyone is pretty much as you were. And then we saw Filthy go off at turn, I think it was turn 3. So he's got a bit of work to do. So let's see who is close on the slipstream here. Looks like Jack would have been close to Clinker Chow, but Clig is going to struggle there and serve a half-second penalty. This is going to take Higgsy and X90G round him as well. X90G trying to get past Higgsy on the run down to turn 1. Let's see if he goes for the move. He doesn't. But Chris and Giles have got past Clinker Chow. We've got about 6 cars all within about a second and a half here through turn 1. So yeah, Kling has a lot of regrouping to do because he's fallen out of the top 10 with that penalty, but a lot of these guys will get penalties at some point. We still have strong penalties. Oh, Chris a little bit wide there. Chris is on reverse grid pole, but he needs to finish higher up in this sprint race. You can't just rely on reverse grid pole to win this championship. Especially when your championship rival's currently a P4. So it's pretty much not much going on here. Higgsy's kind of holding up X90G and Chris a little bit, but Higgsy's got the advantage of having a better car in a straight line than these two, so as long as he gets good exits, which it doesn't look like he got the best exit there. It looks like X90G is going to try and go the long way around the outside, or is he just trying to tuck in? He doesn't look like he's wanting to bump draft, but I think a little bump came in there. If I was them, I would be playing the bump drafting game as much as possible at this early stage, because there's a lot of drivers who are starting to get away a little bit. Oh, is that going to be a penalty for Chris? I think he got away with it. Yeah, he does. Got away with it. It's very easy to get a penalty on that bus stop. The track limits are different for the outside and inside curbs, so you really have to know how far you can push it to get the optimal racing line. X90 still struggling to get a position here on Higgsy, but he is getting dragged along, which is good for him. He might be losing some time in the infield, stuck behind this Supra. Zab's doing pretty well. Let's have a quick look at Zab. Zab and Jack, the two Nissans in P6 and 7, have started this race fairly solidly. We've not seen both of them have good races. Usually when one has a good race, the other one is outside the top 10. So let's see if this can carry on. Looks like Sam's slowly getting caught by Harry here. So Harry's got the fastest lap of 46.4. And Sam had about a 2-second lead, which seems to have eroded. Let's see what our other championship leader's up to. He's just kind of got some decent gaps in front and behind him in P4. I think he'll be pretty happy with how this is going so far. He's going to take the championship lead if things stay as they are in this sprint race heading into the feature, but would be at a disadvantage to Chris because he'd be starting further back in the feature race rolling start. But he's not troubling anyone at the moment. Jack looks like he's catching up to Brummy. Oh look, X90G is going to finally go for the move. He's got the inside line. Higgsy covers him off beautifully there, and Chris actually gives X90G a huge bump outside the corner, which was fantastic for X90G, but now he's caught along the outside of the oval, which does lose you time. Higgsy's got the better straight line speed as well, so that all that momentum dissipated pretty quickly there for X90G, and now he tucks back up inside. Maybe he'll try something into turn 1 if he can get enough speed behind him. Chris has lots of overspeed. He's going to come into the conversation here pretty quickly. Oh, he goes very, very wide. Brakes a bit too late, and Gilles just swoops on through, and Chris is outside the top 10 now. This is an absolutely disastrous first 3 and a bit laps for Chris in this race here. He needs to be making a lot more progress here. So this is his championship potentially slipping through his fingers with that mistake into turn 1. Now what can X90G do? Is he going to be brave into this braking zone? You can brake a lot later there to try and get the overtake done, because the door does get left open more often than not. Didn't happen that time round. Gilles really in this fight as well, so this is great news for Gilles, who's in the top 10 at this stage. Oh, X90 nearly losing it. Loses a bit of speed on the exit, not as much as you'd have expected though, because he kept his foot down. These 3 are going to come together fairly soon, and if they do go side by side into the bus stop, then Chrissy is going to catch back up to them and potentially get into the top 10. Gilles giving X90G the bump that he sorely needed to get ahead of Higgsy, but Gilles couldn't follow him through. Higgsy down to 9th, X90G up into 8th. Chrissy is catching them. You saw him take a huge chunk out of Gilles there. Now X90G will be defending the inside line around the long oval corner, and Higgsy will have to try and go around the outside into turn 1 if he wants to, unless he decides to do some slipstreaming and some bump drafting, but it doesn't look like that's happening. So that Chris has gone for a move into turn 1 on Gilles, and it looks like he's got the move done there. That's a really solid overtake there for Chris to get back into the top 10 of that crucial position. Gilles trying to go around the outside again to get that position back, but there's not much he can do there. Chris is on reverse grid pole as it stands. We are over halfway, well, pretty much halfway into the race now. Let's go back to the front and see what's going on, because we've completely neglected these guys. We've got Harry, we've got Panzani pretty close behind him. We've got Aslam still pretty much on his own in P4. Brummy has started to drive away a little bit from Jack, and then there's a little bit of a queue. Jack, Zab, X90G. He's already left Higgsy a little bit. Chris might fancy that position on Higgsy. And Gilles not too far behind as well to capitalise on any mistakes. Gilles has done well to stay in the slipstream of somebody pretty much this entire race and avoid losing any kind of ground. Yeah, everyone, you know what? Where are all the penalties? These guys are driving insanely consistently. I think I've only seen 1 or 2 penalties all race long. Chris fancies this P9. He's actually got a great run out of that chicane. And he's kept the speed up, he's kept the slipstream up to Higgsy. Higgsy's defended well. Up ahead it looks like X90G's fancying a move as well, but let's see what happens with Chris. And he just didn't have enough there. Just didn't have enough. Higgsy covers it off pretty well. You can see X90G got the position on Zab. So yeah, last to 7th now. Oh god, that's giving me a headache. That little bit of lag that we're seeing there. Further up, anything happening yet? Sam's must have made a bit of a mistake, or maybe he just got caught in the slipstream because Harry's caught up to him once again. I mean, he was 4/10 faster on the previous lap, but I think maybe something happened at the start of this one as well. But yeah, Sam's been defending pretty solidly. He hasn't really looked troubled at all. The thing is about the Citroen, it starts really well, which is why he was able to convert his pole position to a really solid lead on lap 1. Struggles a little bit for top speed, but is great through the corners. So if you can control your car through the corners and get the most out of it, you're not really going to come under pressure unless the driver behind is having an absolute blinder, and it looks like Harry is having a blinder because he's 3/10 up on his previous best lap, so he's going to be in the 45s, which is going to be the first driver into the 45s on this lap. He's really catching Sam. You can see the gap shrinking before your eyes here. Is it going to be enough into turn 1, or will he have to wait a bit longer? They've gapped Pizzani a little bit. There's the fastest lap, 45.7. Sam going a little bit defensive here, and Harry taking a lot more speed. Really, I don't know if there was a bit of a bump there. It didn't really look like there was a bump, but it was very close to one. A good solid exit there for Sam. And this is where the Citroen really will excel, this infield section. As long as you nail the corners, it should give him enough breathing space, at least into the bus stop, to avoid an overtake. Harry going a bit deep into that corner, Sam losing a bit of traction on the exit, so it's pretty much even Stevens there. Pizzani starting to catch up to them a little bit as well. Sam was good on all the exits, yeah, I could see that. You'd think, oh, it's just a Citroen. Surely I could get that position quite easily. But what you really need is Pizzani to catch up and then for both of you to bump past him. But yeah, Sam's driving too well. He's not really got a train behind him because everyone's so evenly spaced out. So, a bit of a better line through there for Sam. Harry got a good exit. Sam got a better entry, and again he's definitely in the slipstream. Sam is in a car that has 7 gears, which will be helping it a bit at the end of the straight here as well. There we go. So you got the top 3 pretty close together. You got Pizzani. Aslam's struggling to keep up actually on this one, which is a real shock because I remember not too long ago the GR Supra was the car to drive around a track like Daytona. So it just goes to show how little tinkering with BOP really affects car performance. Even though the fundamentals of the cars don't really change too much. Like the Lexus is always going to have the best fuel. McLaren's always going to have really good tyres. Sam's driving very well. He's got purple in the first sector here, and Harry's still pretty close behind. Let's have a quick check-in on Chris. He's up into 9th now. Higgsy's dropped to 11th, so he's dropped behind Chris and Gilles, but apart from that, it's pretty much as you were. Now, Chris trying to get past Zab here, but goes really deep. He's opened the door again for Gilles to try and get past. These two are both fairly quick. You wouldn't expect to see them in P9 and 10 in too many sprint races. But yeah, they're probably costing each other a little bit of time, Chris and Gilles, because they're having little battles here and there. Jack under pressure now from X90G. X90G trying to continue his progress up the grid. And that Peugeot looks fantastic lately. Like I'm a Peugeot hater, like certified. Any car, I would not want to drive the Peugeot. Just don't like it. Seems to be one of the best cars at the moment. So if you're thinking, what am I going to drive next season? Definitely worth considering the Peugeot. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be banned anywhere as well. So whatever tier you end up in, it's going to be available. So yeah, X90 couldn't get past Zab, not Jack, sorry. Zab was trying to get past him, but again, if you go wide on the banking, you're just going to lose all of your momentum, especially when X90 has a different Nissan to try and use as slipstream. We are on the final lap now. Everyone here is very close. Chris could potentially get himself as high as 6th here. It looks like he's got himself past Zab. Gilles is trying to get past as well. Zab pushed a little bit onto the grass there. He'll be really disappointed with that because the sprint race was going incredibly good. And he was going to get a huge clutch of points, but it looks like he might have to settle for P10. Chris has got X90G and Jack above him. Looks like Jack's been defending really well here to stay ahead of X90G, who did look to have a bit more pace. Going on to the banking here, it looks like Sam got a great exit, taking a real tight line there, whereas Harry looked like he lost traction very slightly going on to the oval, and that might have been just about enough for Sam to keep this P1. Chris up in 8th right now is going to get him 3 points, so he would still lose the championship lead as it stands. Oh, look at that exit for Sam. Harry, sorry, he's got a great exit there. He's probably gained about half a tenth through the chicane. He's got overspeed. What is he going to do with Sam here? He's caught up to him at a good point. There wasn't much of the oval left. Now it's pretty much a drag race to the finish line. Sam's got the inside line, but Harry keeps the victory just at the very end. Sam led that entire race and lost it in the last couple of seconds. That is insanity. Let's go back and see everyone else finish the line. We're going to get another podium for Pinzani. Fantastic, fantastic result for the Italian. Once again, proving he is one of the quickest guys in either of the tier 2s. Hasnain takes the championship lead with P4. Brummy, a real solid P5. Jack just keeps X90G on P6. Chris is 8th. Gilles is 9th. Zab is 10th. Outside of the points is Higgsy with some damage. Hurricane is 12th. Filthy in 13th. Genesis, bad season, continues at 14th. And Klinker Chow is going to take P15. A distant P15 there. After lap 2 was 2 minutes and 27 seconds long. Wow, that is, what, 40 seconds lost? 43 seconds lost in a single lap. And then the rest of his laps have looked a little bit off the pace. That Renault really needs some slipstream to get some performance out of it. And there we go. 52 for the last lap as well, so yeah, not a good one for Kling. Right, let's find this feature race. While it loads, I'm just gonna pop downstairs for a second. That was literally a second. So, what are we going to see in this feature race? Strategy in Daytona isn't very varied because you can't make a two-stop work because of how long the pit lane is. However, I have seen some drivers in some tiers do two stops. If you watched Pyro's comps when he was doing his tier 3 comps the other day, he's like screaming at people for their strategy choices. So I won't be screaming. Let's see. Everyone is starting. Oh, hold on. This is the wrong one. this the right one? Well, I guess he did share the sprint, but he just called it the feature. Oh god, okay, now which one is the feature? I did load it up and one of these is definitely the feature. Let's try that one. Look at the file sizes. Here we go. Look at this. Right. We made it. So, yeah, like I was saying, I'm expecting medium soft or potentially medium hard if you're an MR driver. Hards for Jack. Hards for Sam. Okay, so Sam's not going to win the feature then. Hards for Genesis as well, which is interesting. And everyone else is on the mediums. So, we got 23 laps here. I'm expecting most people to try and get 14 laps out of the mediums, do 9 on the softs. If anyone comes in earlier, it's because they can't make the mediums last that long. Right, we're off and away. Zab is leading us ahead of Gilles and our man who's literally just lost the championship lead moments ago, Chrissy, who'll want to be getting up into P1 as quickly as possible and starting to dominate the feature race and get the win so that he can make sure that he gives himself the best chance of winning a championship. At the front, Gilles is already having a bit of pressure on Zab, doesn't actually go for the move into turn 3. Chris keeps P3 there, and then a little bit further down, Aslam is in 7th. Let's ride on board with him through the infield section. He's got some quick drivers behind him. Panzani is the one directly behind him. He's got Brummy ahead of him, who he's going to have to try and get past. Everyone, you can even see P1 from there, everyone is still very close together through the first and second sectors of this race. Now we're on the back straight. Everyone's close enough if they get a bad exit here that they could lose multiple positions. You got Panzani and Harry pretty close. Sam on his hard tyres is gonna fall back a little bit. Brummy on his mediums, and I don't know if he knows that Jack's on the hard tyres, but he's gonna try and get that position pretty quickly here. Aslam's gonna close up to both of them as well, especially if they go side by side. Jack tucks in behind so that he can take the corner properly, which is a good idea. But he might not have a chance against Hasnain on the exit. Actually, look at Panzani on the exit here, but again he's going to get caught on the outside. You're going to see exactly what the problem is when you go up high around the banking. You just have to slot back in straight behind. So maybe he would have been better off doing some bump drafting around there to get a little bit further up the field. Now we're going to potentially get a full wide into turn 1 here. Brummy in the McLaren getting bumped by Jack. And Jack going side by side with our new championship leader into turn 1. There's been some drama up above as well, so we'll go and see what's been happening there right after we see the outcome of this. Looks like Pizzani's going to try and go the long way around, and Hasnain, oh, he's nearly got bumped a little bit by Harry there. He's got the inside line for the next corner, trying desperately to keep hold of these positions from these drivers who finished on the podium ahead of him previously. Great exit there for Hasnain, and he keeps a nose and a bit more ahead of Panzani. It might change here though. Panzani is going to try and swoop into the lead. Hasnain with the inside is going to keep that position surely, unless Panzani can hold it really long way round to the outside here. This is some great side-by-side racing. Not good for Hasnain, who loses another position here. And is Harry going to go through as well? No, Harry lost a bit of traction there. And Sam's still in with all these guys. So let's see what's happened to Zab, because Zab's dropped all the way down to 4th. So this is the end of lap 1. We saw him go a little bit wide into turn 1. So let's see what's happening with Gilles. Gilles just comfortably ahead. And then a little bit of contact between them. Chris gets through fairly easily as a result of that. X90 trying to follow through. Now, are we going to get a nice run? That's a pretty good corner there for Zab with the inside line. blocks off X90G's attempt at getting on the throttle early. So what is going to happen with Zab here, because he does lose this position to X90G as well. And that was a fairly good overtake there from X90G. So Zab down into 4th, still with these guys. Then a bit of a gap to Brummy because all these guys have been fighting as well, that we've already seen. So yeah, that's good for Chris. Chris only has one more driver to try and get past, and that is Gilles, the driver that he spent the whole sprint race fighting with. 2 MR cars right at the front. Actually make that 3 because Peugeot is also MR. But they're all pretty evenly spaced out. Zab's still fairly close. He'll just want to stick as close as possible and hope that the guys behind don't catch up. We got Brummy, we got Jack, we got Panzani, now we got Hasnain behind him. Now this is a good opportunity once again. Panzani's going to try and go the long way around. Hasnain could bump Panzani past Jack here and follow him through if he wants to. Is there any bumping going on? Yeah, there we go. Okay, there is some teamwork going on here. Well, they're not teamwork, they're not on the same team. You know what I mean. Jack's going to try and keep it with a really late braking there on his hard tyres. And that might help Hasnain get that position back on Panzani. So that actually worked out great for our championship leader. Now he's going to try and go the long way around Jack. Is he going to be able to do it? Jack loses a bit of traction but does keep the position. Panzani's going to try and... Well, actually, Panzani's in a great position to get the overtake on Hasnain done. Hasnain goes on a bit of a bump on Jack and as a result loses the position. And Panzani back ahead once again. Then look at this. Pretty much everyone is still really close together in this fight. But Jack is becoming the cork in the bottle here because of his hard tyres. Panzani, he can't... I don't know if he knows that Jack's on the hards, but he can't really afford to be wasting any more time. We're going to have a little battle for P1 here as well. Not quite. Oh! Chris did well to avoid spinning it there, but he is still in P2. He's got another good run on Gilles here though. And he's going up high. Maybe he's going to try and time his run on Gilles perfect by going a bit high and getting out the slipstream momentarily. Now he's going to try to go around the outside. Very difficult to go around the outside, and you're going to see exactly why here, because look how wide Chris has gone, and he's going to lose 2 positions as a result. He was trying to get P1, and now he's down into 4th. It looks like Panzani's got past Jack as well, so let's see. Well, actually, Panzani got past Jack already. Sorry about that. Aslam still in 8th, coming under a lot of pressure from Harry into turn 3. Harry will get that position as well. So our 2 championship contenders are both having a bit of a dodgy start to this feature race. Aslam down to 9th and Chris down to 4th after getting overtaken, making some progress and losing all of the progress made as well. Jack's starting to struggle for traction a bit, and he's lost that position finally to Aslam. Aslam will be pleased with that, but he has lost out to Harry and Panzani as a result of that. Panzani's caught up to the back of Brummy. And this Jag is very strong coming onto the oval. And when you got the slipstream, because what the Jag does struggle with is 6th gear, but if you manage to get the good acceleration, and he's going for the bump draft as well, once you're into 6th gear, it will help you still propel you past some of these other cars. But yeah, that's the 2 main weaknesses of the Jag is 6th gear and fuel. You can see Panzani is fuel saving a little bit. This surely is a chance to get past. Is he going for the bump draft again? Interesting. Let's have a look at P1 because it looks like S19 is going to challenge Giles to try and do the same thing that Chris tried to do the previous lap. Giles defending the inside again. X9G gets it slowed down pretty nicely. Stays in P2. Goes a bit on the grass. Giles is going to stay ahead for now unless he... Yeah, he does. Zab's trying something different around the outside, and Chris is going to start closing into these guys now as well, finally, with this little bit of battling. Now we still have Brummy and Panzani a little bit further back. Real good start to this feature race for Zab, still sticking it out with the top guys. And yeah, it doesn't look like any overtakes to be happening there. Let's have a look at Panzani. But whilst this is happening, just a reminder that sign-ups are live for next season. I'm trying to sort out the tiers. It looks like we're probably going to do 7 tiers again. We are in the summer months. People aren't going to be fully available for every round, which is fine. Yeah, pretty much as you were through the corner as well. So please make sure you sign up, or at least let me know if either way, if you want to be a reserve full-time or give the next season a miss. Chris, oh, Zab's got a second penalty right after I was giving him all that praise. He's going to lose at least 3 positions, if not more. That's 1 second penalty is really, really, really brutal here. So there's Panzani up to 5th. Harry and Aslan might be able to get him as well. Into turn 1. Oh, this is really a big difference in speed as they enter into the braking zone. Zab managing to keep P6 at least. But yeah, it's getting a bit spicy now with the penalty. But yeah, if we end up doing 7 tiers, that does mean we're only going to be doing 1 tier 2 next season, just like we did in season 17. Which means half of my tier and half of this tier that we're watching right now will, by default, go down into tier 3. So have a think. If you're watching this, how likely that is going to be you based on how you feel that you've performed. Obviously some people are going up as well into tier 1, and maybe some people are coming down from tier 1 into tier 2. There's a lot to figure out with the data. Zab's going to try and get past Harry here. 1 tier 2 is good. That means I'm going to be racing against you next season, Harry. So we'll see how good it is. It means I can't commentate you guys. I have to commentate at tier 3. That's fine. So yeah, Zab sticking close to Harry. He does still have the good pace. It's just that 1 second penalty completely ruined his progress here. Aslam's stuck right behind Zab. He needs to try and get that position done pretty quickly. He wants to get past Zab. If he gets past Zab, him and Harry probably have quite similar pace in this one. And look at the overspeed as well. The GTR, I don't know if the GTR is actually good at the moment, is it? I mean, it used to be properly one of the better cars. I haven't seen anyone do amazing things with it though this season. Zab struggling with his gears there on the exit has allowed Aslam to get away. And we've got Jack and Higgsy. Jack's holding back Higgsy. Where is Sam's down in 14th. He's been in the wars. Yeah, lap 4 at 153. That's a shame for him. Genesis has been struggling for pace on these hards as well, but I think that's just pace for him. Reunite as teammates. I've already got offers. I haven't actually made a decision on who my teammate's going to be though. And also, we might still have to. If we have to have a lot more people sign up though. The problem that we've got with the sign-ups this season is we don't have enough people who've signed up as reserves. Only got what, like 13 reserves that aren't tier 1 pace. We've got like 8 or 9 reserves sign up that are tier 1 pace. So tier 1's going to be very busy next season because I don't think any of them can actually be moved down to tier 2. But yeah, it's another thing to think about. A little bit of a bump draft on Jack there. And some lift and coasting as well. You and Hennes should team up again, actually. You've been a good... Oh, what's going on further forward? We got 4 wide here. Let's rewind. Something's happened here. What the hell? Okay, let's ride on with Pizzani. You got Chris and X90G battling for position here. Chris is trying to get up into second. And it looks like they all managed to avoid getting penalties. Brummy's just going to sweep past both of them with a great exit. And it looks like Pinzani's going to do the same. Pinzani will want to bump draft Brummy to make sure they both get ahead of these two. And Chris will want to start bump drafting X90G to make sure that they keep the position. It looks like Brummy and Pinzani are going to win that one though. Oh, look at that late braking from Chris. He's going to... Oh, what the hell just happened? Let's see it from Harry's point of view. Oh, he just hit the wall himself. This tire barrier. This is the worst part about Daytona. This little tire barrier on the inside is so easy to get it wrong. And is this going to be a championship losing contact with the wall here? This was going to be such a good little overtake, but then he hits Brummy, and because he hits Brummy, he's not got much space. He hits the side, and he's got loads of damage. He's got a bunch of drivers who've overtaken him. He's going to probably still be safe from Zab, but he's going to have to take the whole infield section with loads of damage. Brutal. Anonyma might be... Well, you know what? I'll be honest, Anonyma, you are on the bubble. Oh my god, I can't even talk to you guys because too much is going on. Pizzani's made a massive error, it looks like. Now, what's he going to do with Brummy? This all looks fine. Oh, Harry, what have you done? That was a bit dodgy there, Harry. So you've... yeah, Pizzani made X90G lose a bit of pace here. This is good for Chris. He's going to catch up to these guys at least. 2 wide rear arcs on the Porsche. Yes, potentially, actually. The Mazda suffers with that as well. So yeah, the way we look at the data, essentially, is we take everyone's race data across the season, average it out, and we remove everyone's worst round, because people can have stinkers, people sometimes don't practice for specific rounds, people sometimes purposefully, you know, hit an extra time in feature races, which, you know, distorts how good they were, because they want to try and get the fastest lap, all that kind of stuff. So we remove everyone's rubbish round, and we see where everyone lies, and make decisions based off of that, and based off of who actually signs up as full-time. So yeah, the jury's out with pretty much everyone until we finalise who's actually signed up and who hasn't. Here we go, X90G trying to get past Pinzani now. This is going very well for Aslam, with the mistake there from Harry and the incident with Pinzani. Harry's trying to get past Pinzani again. X90G's got past him as well. Zab's going to get past him as well. He's getting absolutely bullied out of these positions. Is Chris going to make it as well? He does. Pinzani just, wow, even more contact into that corner. Zab's passed Harry as a result of it, and Pinzani's going to get past 2 as well. And Chris, all of a sudden, is back down to 8th again. Crazy, crazy, crazy. These guys are all, forgetting a little bit how to avoid cars in front of them. And X9G is actually at the front of this pack, which is great for him. Zab's still in 5th. I think he was down to 8th at one point. Jackson 9th on the hard tyres still. So this is actually a fairly decent opening stint for Jack. Higgsy's in 10th on his mediums. Sam's recovered a little bit to 11th. He's not too far off of this group as well. Gilles, meanwhile, we've not even talked about Gilles. Let's have a quick look at Gilles, just coming through the chicane there with Brummy and Aslam fairly close behind. Gilles has a fairly comfortable lead here. You wouldn't expect the Lamborghini to be leading after 9 laps at Daytona. But he's just kept out of trouble, and everyone else seems to have struggled with that a little bit. Look at this speed on the GR Supra. Brummy should have absolutely no chance here. He's going a bit too fast to even consider the bump draft. He should have the move done before turn 1. There we go. And Brummy still had a nose in, and he looks like he pushes Aslam off track a little bit there. A little bit naughty. Actually, let's see on board before I start calling people a little bit naughty. So where's the contact? There's no actually, there wasn't any contact. I apologise to Brummy. I just assumed there was, but Aslam went off all on his own. There was a big gap, though, back to everyone else who've been in the wars in these opening 10 laps. So Aslam still tucks into P3, and he could try again a little bit later. Split tier 1. We'll never split tier 1. We will never split tier 1. Splitting tier 2 was a bit of a stretch. There was a lot of people not happy that I split tier 2. I've had to have weekly arguments with people about it. I think the racing's been really close, though. I do think that there's two tiers worth of tier 2 pace drivers. Harry and Panzani continuing the fight. The AMG seems to be a lot better around Daytona lately. And it's not going to be banned next season, the AMG. Or is it? No, it's actually not. It did really well in both tiers, but Elian didn't race the last 2 rounds in our tier 2, so it dropped outside the top 2 of ours. And it's not going to be in the top 2 or 3 of this tier either, in terms of the highest driver to finish in the car. Here we go, X90G versus Panzani versus Harry Miles. These are super close, and everyone's got very different closing speeds. Panzani goes for the bump. Harry really cleverly gets out of the way. Panzani decelerates slightly with that. Oh, but Harry goes super deep. We've seen so many people go super deep into turn 1, and he keeps that position. Zab has dropped down to 9th. He's starting to struggle now. His last lap was a 1 minute 50, which I'm guessing was to do with a penalty, because he was up in... Oh, Chris! Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not going well for Chris. He's down to 12th. Jack's in the pit, so he's going hard mediums. Trying to get an undercut on people. Let's have another look at this. So we thought the invisible wall contact was bad. His tyres are starting to wear. They don't have as much grip as before, just pushing a little bit too hard on them. And that, I mean, it's over to Hasnain now to kind of keep it clean for the rest of the race, because Chris has had 2 major errors in this race now. And he's down into 12th. He's got a lot of work to do. Hasnain up into 2nd. Up into 3rd, sorry. He's got only Brummy and Gilles ahead of him. Two drivers who are driving cars that aren't as good in Daytona, I don't think, personally, as the GR Supra. So I think he could still win this race. He's got better speed than Brummy. He just hasn't been able to get past it. Brummy's been defending pretty good. He's got plenty of space behind him. Got Marriott Panzani Miles in 4th, 5th and 6th. And then Higgsy popping up randomly in 7th after being nowhere pretty much all night. Are we going to see anyone peeling into the pits? No. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. Gilles' tyres look pretty good. Better than Brummy's. Better than Hasnain's, but we know the GR Supra sucks on tyre wear. Marriott is getting bumped. Look at that rear right on Marriott, really struggling there. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the medium soft. He's struggling to even get the car turned. Pinzani's tyres are looking in a fair bit better shape here. This is the difference between the FR and the MR cars. Higgsy holding up Zab a little bit after getting past. So we got 2 Supras in the top 7. And then we got Sam on his hard tyres. They're going to be coming back to him a little bit compared to some of these medium tired guys. He's still lapping in the 48s, whereas everyone, well actually Higgsy's in the 48s as well on his mediums, but Zab's dropped into the 49s. Harry's in the 49s as well. Pinzani in the 47s trying to get past Marriott. He's not going to be on this bit, but we might see Aslam Hasnain get this move done on Brummy, who started to drop back a fair bit from Gilles. Gilles was definitely a bit closer in the previous lap here. And we're doing some lifting and coasting, maybe some fuel saving for Hasnain. Maybe a little bit too much because Brummy took the entry of the corner much better, but gets it a little bit wrong on the exit. This is a really solid exit from Hasnain. Is he going to be able to keep the speed up? If any car can, it would be the Supra, but look at that, the McLaren's going to start. Oh no, he's not been able to do it. If I was Brummy, I might have thought about going into the pits there, getting an undercut done, if I could make the softs last. What's going on a bit further back? X90G still holding up Pinzani. Harry's pretty much on his own in P6 at the moment. His tyres are in a very bad way. Higgsy's tyres are better than Harry's actually, a bit surprised at that. The AMG, its tyres are okay. Not the best, not the worst. So maybe that's something Harry needs to work on, is tyre management. If we had Henners, we could have compared. And then we've got Sam. What's Sam going to do? Is he going to do the hard soft strategy? Well, no, he's not. He's going to have to come in here. Henners is better on tyres. Okay. Just go in the McLaren next season then. Won't have to worry. Although maybe with your new rig, it'll help you with driving a bit more gently, who knows. What's going on a bit further up? Pinzani still putting some pressure on Marriott. Are we going to see the first of anyone come into the pits on this lap? I think Gilles has to. Look at that rear right. He's not getting another lap out of that. You want the Merc again? I mean, consistency, it would help. You won't have to get used to another car. Yeah, Gilles is going to be the first person into the pits. Hasnain carries on for one more. Brummy carries on. X90G comes in. He couldn't have done another lap as well. Harry's going to carry on for one more. That's going to be touch and go. Zab carries on. Looks like Sam's come in. Hurricane carries on. And Filthy carries on. And here's Chris. But let's go back to Jack, because Jack made a pit stop very early on. It looks like he's set his quickest lap of 47.5, which is 6/10 off the overall fastest. He's going to do mediums to the end. He did a fairly solid hard stint. He's really kept it with the guys on the mediums. Another 47.5, so he's been setting some good laps. Is he going to get the undercut done on anybody? Looks like Gilles is heading out of the pits already. X90G is heading out of the pits ahead of him as well. And he's going to be ahead of Higgsy and Sam. So we got X90G on the hards. He's going to have a rough final stint. Same for Gilles. These are the guys that might be mincemeat for anyone who comes out on the softs and makes the softs work for the rest of the race. Medium soft is possible for a lot of the other guys who have stayed out this extra lap and got an extra lap out of their medium tyres. If they've done that, they should be able to get the 9 laps out of the softs as well. Jack might actually have a shot at a podium here if he can look after his tyres. Sam's on the mediums as well, and Higgsy is on the softs, so he's going to try and go longer than everybody on the softs. That's going to be an interesting one. Now, surely everyone else is coming into the pits. We've got Hasnain coming into the pits. Brummy's carrying on another lap. Zab carries on another lap. Okay. So, real different strategies. I thought everyone would come in at the end of this one. Hurricane carrying on. Well, we know the Lexus isn't good on tyres. Filthy and Chris are carrying on. Harry's carrying on. And then we're going to have Gilles. So let's see what happens between Panzani and Gilles and Aslam as they start refueling here. Is Gilles still going to keep the lead of the race? He really should keep the lead of the race here. The fuel is going in. Pretty solid turn one there for Gilles. Then you got X90G and Jack not too far behind. There's Hasnain right behind Gilles, and then Panzani is coming out and he's going to slot in behind X90G and ahead of Jack. So pretty much as you were. But let's see, we've got hard tyres on Hasnain and we got on Gilles, sorry, we've got softs on Hasnain. So really, this should be a super easy overtake for Hasnain. Okay. I thought Hasnain would get a much better exit than he did there, but Gilles actually took that corner very well. Keeps the distance between him and Hasnain. Here we go, look at the overspeed. And he's decided not to have a go. Try and get a better exit, which we've seen him do previously, and he does get a much better exit. That's the hard tyres versus the soft out of the bus stop. And there is potentially our new race leader, because everyone else has come into the pits now. We've got Marriott with Panzani right behind him on the softs as well, so this is going to be another one that's really close. He has to go for it and he decides to bail out of it. This is precious time that Panzani's losing. He needs to make his way past these hard-tired runners if he wants to have a shot at winning this race. But yeah, all of a sudden, Hasnain just chilling for the first stint and is now our race leader. Higgsy ahead of Jack, and Brummy is in 7th, but might actually get past Jack again here. So Jack's on the mediums, and Brummy's on the softs, and Higgsy's on the softs. So Jack has the disadvantage with the older worn mediums as well. Brummy, is he going to chuck it in? You have to. You just have to. It's just so inviting, that inside line for that corner. It's such an easy overtake to do if you can get it right. X90G and Panzani battling once again. X90G is not letting this go without a fight. And Panzani has to go wide and try and regroup and get the position again. He just has to go for it in the bus stop. He's being a bit too careful into the bus stop, I think. And one thing I noticed in my tier, I got a lot of overtakes done on the inside into the bus stop because people did exactly what X90G is doing here. And I just went on the inside and got it. But Panzani doesn't feel comfortable enough to try and get that move done. But if you got the inside, you've won that corner as long as you can nail your entry into the bus stop. But if you don't feel the confidence to do that, I suppose you do have to just tuck in behind. But then you're stuck behind someone on the banking here, and you can't get past, even if you've got the overspeed. So he might not have been aware that the Peugeot was on the hards. True. It would take maybe a couple of laps to realise that this guy's just a lot slower than he was compared to his previous stint. And this is another one. It's so easy to chuck it into that corner. Decided not to, but he did scare X90G off a little bit wide. And look at this, Higgsy in P5, might be up into P4. Not sure where Higgsy's pace has come from as well since this stint. Maybe he's just been really good at fuel saving. And we've got Brummy close behind as well. Then you have Jack on his mediums in P7, just ahead of his teammate Zab in 8th. It's still another good result for the GTRs if they can hold on to this. Now what can Higgsy do? They are doing some bump drafting. Higgsy biding his time. Well, to be fair, if he goes for a move and it goes wrong, there's about 3 cars that can get past him as well, so it is a bit of a precarious situation for Higgsy to be in right now. All the more important to get past Marriott as quickly as possible. And look at that speed, he's just closed up beautifully there, again goes for the bump draft. Doesn't decelerate too much, that Brummy catches up to him. But he's bringing everyone into this battle for P2 at least. I think Aslan might be a little bit too far ahead at the moment. Gilles doing very well on his hards to stay ahead of Panzani. He is getting caught a little bit. Yeah, P1's off and away. And what a way to win a championship if he could hold on to this with a win to seal the deal. And seal his promotion to tier 1 as well, because obviously all champions have to get promoted. Might be 1 tier, might be multiple tiers if you're further down, and we think you could hack it. For example, both of the tier 4 champions last season came into one of the tier 2s, expanded tier 2s obviously. Oh, Higgsy bumped a little bit from Brummy on the back, no harm done. A little bit further up we got Gilles fighting for his life against Panzani. I mean, there's just not much that he could do. Apart from try and keep the inside line. Like, why didn't he have the inside line here? I just went back a full lap. That's not good. Okay, let's see. Why did he get held up wide here? Look at how the Jag could just keep tight. That's basically the only reason. It is better to go wider for most cars to get more speed. The Jag doesn't need that. It just needs to basically point and squirt and just go and take advantage of the acceleration that you've got. And that's why Panzani got ahead. Gets a little bit of a bump as a thank you as well. And I wonder if he could try and catch Hasnain now. They both have identical tyre wear at this stage, so might be difficult. Gilles will... Oh dear. How'd that happen? That is brutal. So that bit's fine. Here we go. So you can't go all four beyond the white line like he is right here on the inside. You're allowed to do that on the outside as long as you stay on the rumble strips. On the inside you can't do that. So there's 1. There's 2. And there it is. 2.5 seconds. Let's see how far back this is going to drop him. That's brutal. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4. It's not over yet. He's having to accelerate from 2nd gear again. Sam, who did go onto the mediums when he came into the pits, might not close in enough, but that is, yeah, it's the difference of all the benefit you gain from doing the medium strategy at the start of the race compared to a hard one. Down from 4th place to 8th place for X90G. Now we've got Higgsy and Jack battling once again for positions. The softs are starting to wear. Higgsy did put on the softs before anybody else, so his tyres will be going off before everyone else's as well. I trust that he knows what he's doing, and this did work in practice. It's a bit more difficult when you're in the race and you're actually battling for positions with people to keep the tyre life. intact. Now S18 is probably going to get overtaken fairly soon again from Sam here on his hard tyres, since Sam's on the mediums. Oh no, he goes for the bump. Again, it was just wide open to go for the move. S18 struggling a little bit on the exit. It might not even matter. Maybe I need to stop giving you guys advice on this stream because you're just going to use it against me. Daytona might be the track that returns. I'm pretty sure it's level pegging between Daytona and Nürburgring for which track comes back. The season votes is still open until Monday, and then we will know which track will be the returning track as chosen by the racers. We've also got a Patreon vote that's open until Monday, and then the helpers have already come up with our 6 tracks that we're going to put on the calendar. I'm pretty pleased with them. I quite like them. There's one that we've never ever raced on before in the layout that we're racing on it. So there's a little hint for you. But it is fun. It is going to work as well. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Early leaks. Oh, should I give you a hint? Hold on. Let me get. So we've got one. So of our 6 that we've picked, we've got 1, 2 high speed, 2 medium speed, and 2 low speed tracks. So quite an even mix. Factor that into your car selections. Whereas on this calendar we had 4 high-speed tracks, so potentially only 2, depending on. Actually, it'll definitely be 3 because Nürburgring and Daytona are both high-speed, and then we have to see what the Patreons choose to see if we actually get 4 high-speed tracks again. But I doubt we'd actually get to 4. It's very unusual that we use 4 high-speed tracks in a single season. I won't give you any more specifics than that though. Route X. Maybe the last season that we do on GT7 before we move to GT8, we'll have a round on Route X. Here comes Zab on his teammate. Is he going to go for the move? He doesn't. Well, I'll tell you, if Spa's on the calendar and you're competing in the 12 hours, that's great practice to get yourself used to that track. If we put Spa on the calendar. That was some good defending on the exit there for Jack to get nudged back ahead of his teammate. It is the last race of the season. They're not fighting for anything, so I think Zab might be actually going for it here. Streets of Willow. What about Horseleaf Mile? I did once seriously suggest Willow as a calendar track. I think it's going to be on the eSports calendar though, so there's a little hint. I don't think we'd put a track like that on both the eSports and the Monday calendar at the same time, right? Maybe we would. Anyway, Zab's got past Jack. That was a good little overtake. Is Jack going to try and get past him again? Again, the door's left open if you want to go for it. No one wants to do it. It's the easiest overtake if you think that you can pull it off. But none of them clearly think that they can pull it off. So we've got 2 more laps left. Let's see what the gap is between P1 and P2. It has not come down at all. They're both lapping in the 47s. Chris actually has the quickest lap out of everybody, but you can see he's not even in the top 8 here, so unless Hasnain runs out of fuel, I think we are looking at our champion. He's been a reserve all season long, by the way. He only got called into this race at the last second because some drivers backed out. Jack back ahead of Zab again. And Higgsy coming in. Oh, Zap nearly losing it. Is he going to keep P6 or is Higgsy going to get past? Higgsy's is going to get past. Why risk side by side into the chicane when you can get past easier into turn 1? Well, some of you guys are struggling to get past into turn 1. Zap was struggling to get past Higgsy there, and has had to wait a long time so that Higgsy can keep his position. So that's good news for Sam. The 2 easy positions there for him, with a couple of laps to go. Where's Higgsy? What's Higgsy's tyres gonna do? So, oops. Higgsy really struggling. He is probably going to get one more lap out of these tyres, but he's going to be really slow. Zap, with plenty more tyre life left in his, should be able to get past Higgsy here. Okay, so let me tell you why you would risk going side by side. If you were confident on how to take the entry into the chicane without going over track limits, you've got the position, you've compromised the other driver because they can't take the corner normally. They have to take wide entry into the corner because you're right there. So they're going to get a poorer exit from the corner compared to you, as long as you nail the exit as well. And then you're just away. You don't have to worry about them on the pit straight. And you're just away, basically. It's like, it's foolproof as long as you're not the fool. You have to trust the other driver to back out. Well, if they turn into you and then they go off. As long as you've got the overlap, it's absolutely... well... Don't believe me. Let's all just race against each other in Daytona next season and I'll show you... I'll show you what to do. Unfortunately, I can't be in my Jag. Anyway, let's go back and give our new champion, Hasnaim, also known as Aslam, some much needed praise, because he's come in, he missed the first round of the season, I think. Or he missed one of the rounds of the season. He's still been leading the championship. Only took the lead in after that sprint race. But he's been, I don't think, outside the top 6 all season. It's been a fantastic debut to his championship. I saw somebody saying from Tier 1, a bit surprised that he was in Tier 2. But he hasn't been massively quicker than everybody. But today he's kind of shown that he's got the tactics and he's got the skill to wrap up a championship in style. He's also got the nerve for it, because we've seen a lot of drivers in championship fights kind of bottle it towards the end of the season with the pressure. Definitely not being the case for this guy. He's going to cross the line and take a very good championship as a reserve driver. Really earned that promotion into Tier 1. Pizzardi's going to take yet another podium, and Gilles on the podium, I think potentially for the first time this season in the last race. Real good result in the Lamborghini specifically. Brummy in P4. Sam pops himself randomly into P5 after being pretty much nowhere all race. Jack is in 6th. Then we saw Zab and Higgsy in the wars. They finished 7th and 8th. X90G 9th. Hurricane is in 10th. Harry in the end dropped down to 11th. I'm not quite sure what happened there. And then we got Chris and Filthy completing their season in formation. Former Constructors champions in Tier 2 a couple of years ago now. Couldn't do the same this time, but the Porsche is a very difficult one to do that in with the starts that they have in sprint races. Oh, I missed you spinning. Never mind. Well, you got lucky with that, I suppose. In the Constructors, it's actually the double for Hasnain. He's won the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. So that is Higgsy really sticking it out. He might have only finished 13th in the standings, but he does get that lovely Constructors' medal to go with what's been a rotten season for him. They were quite a way ahead of Mercedes. I think the Merc would have potentially won the Constructors if Hennes competed in the final 2 rounds, but he couldn't. So that's where we are. Porsche did end up finishing 3rd with Chrissy and Filthy when they finished in formation there. 3 points ahead of the Huracan, and then Peugeot in 5th. Just ahead of the Jag, which was pretty much a solo effort from Pizzardi, apart from Lavatrice getting his P3 and his P1 in week 7. So yeah, that's it. coming up in ALR in the off season, we've got a short off season. It's a 4 week off season. Last time it was 5 weeks. We need to do a couple of 4 week off seasons so that we can get season 20 finished in time for Christmas. That's how far ahead we have to think. But we got a karting championship coming up, which is going to be really fun. So if you like karting on GT7, it's going to be bags of fun. And we've got the Spa 12 Hours, which we've got I think 20 teams now registered. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm pretty excited for that one. It's going to be hard for me though because I'm commentating for what, like 13 and a half hours non-stop. But anyway, thanks for watching this season, guys. I really appreciate it. And next season, we're going to have more of the same. So just keep an eye out. Thank you.